Here we are, Location Luxe. I'm your host, Alan Canis, and here in Season 1, we'll be focused on what we're calling the Great Lifestyle Migration. On each episode, I'll be right here in San Francisco, Silicon Valley. Over the last few decades, we've witnessed a great migration for employment and technology development. As such, the need and demand for homes has been among the highest in the country. These migration choices are giving people an extraordinary opportunity to explore new locations, amenities, and lifestyle options. And that's why we're here. Location Luxe. This week, I am honored to welcome my friend, Russell Pruner, who is not only a top realm partner, but he's also a top producing real estate agent in Greenwich, Connecticut. Russell, thank you so much for coming on the show with us today. Thank you, Russell. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Alan. Welcome to Greenwich, Connecticut.
Russell, today we're going to go through how Greenwich is so much more than a destination location. It's a beautiful lifestyle. But Russell, before we do that, I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about who you are, your business, and where are you right now?
Alan, I'm lucky enough to be at a client's home right on the water in Greenwich. That's unbelievable, and I've been lucky enough to have started in real estate at a young age of 29, started a company at 31, and then sold it when I turned 60, and worked for that company, and now with Compass here in town.
Russell, we're all hearing it. There's a huge buzz as to why people are moving to Greenwich, Connecticut. What is the buzz all about?
I think the buzz is all about is the fact of what you said at the beginning is this lifestyle. I mean, we're 45 minutes by express train to downtown Manhattan. Yet when you get out into the suburbs here in Greenwich, we're on Long Island Sound, 50 square miles of property in the town itself. And the greatest thing about it, it's so diverse. I mean, we go from waterfront, very expensive living like the house I'm at right now, to something a lot more quaint that might be, $200,000-$300,000. It just really has a lot to offer, and it's mainly due to that lifestyle.
Russell, tell me a little bit about the seasonal activities.
The activities are phenomenal. I mean, a lot of them are water oriented just because we're so close and on Long Island Sound. But incredible sports in this town for the kids, arts for the children also. You've got skiing, 2 hours away to go to some of the top ski resorts in the Northeast. You've also got the ability to be 45 minutes from LaGuardia Airport, an hour from Kennedy, to jump on a plane to go pretty much wherever you want to go. But, the town, just once you get here, you really don't have to leave it.
It sounds wonderful. And can you touch on, Russell, the culture? What are we looking at when you're talking about culture and the restaurants and the resorts?
Yeah, it's amazing. The great thing about Greenwich is there's sort of different hamlets or pockets in town. The Greenwich Avenue is one of them. We've got an incredible diversity. We're almost like a small UN here in Greenwich that caters to all levels of income, religious belief, ethnicity, and all of that. So you really have the opportunity for anybody that's coming from around the world to really feel comfortable here. Every type of restaurant you could think of that they offer here in some form in Greenwich, and all the arts really. You can play polo in the backcountry if you want to. You can windsurf down here on the beaches. You can go watch a kid's soccer game. You can play rugby. You can go to a concert on the water or at our high school. I mean, it just has about everything you could think of.
You have something for everyone.
Correct. Exactly.
And you touched on it a little bit, Russell. Tell me more about the flights. How easy is it to access Greenwich?
Well, we're lucky, Alan, in the fact that in the northwest corner of Greenwich, we're right on the New York line. And one of the three busiest private airports, called Westchester Airport, is there, which a number of people have and corporations have their jets there. So you can easily go privately, publicly. That flies to Chicago, to Boston, to DC, and you can catch anything if you want to go out of Westchester. But the other great thing is, if we're going within the United States, normally catch a plane, out of LaGuardia, and then if we're going anywhere in the world, we've got one of the busiest airports in Kennedy Airport, JFK there in New York. Both are a little around an hour away.
Russell, tell me a little bit about your taxes there in Greenwich.
That's one of the biggest things that people move here for, is the fact that a house, basically the taxes on a house are anywhere from 0.5% to 1% of the purchase price. So incredibly low. We're about half to even a quarter of what other towns are in Connecticut, as well as then you move into Westchester County next to us. They can be 3 and 4 times as much as what we have. So, that's really one of the popular things too. The state tax is about half of what you find in New York State or New Jersey. So from that standpoint, it's, the taxes are incredibly attractive.
And Russell, why would you say most people are moving and migrating to Greenwich now?
I think a lot of it just for space. I mean, we're starting to see it in New York as that bounces back. Everybody seems to want to go bigger. So, a lot of young couples and, other people are coming out and, wanting. We have anywhere from 1/4 of an acre property sizes up to deed restricted 10-acre parcels, with some that are even bigger than that.
And where would you say most of your buyers are coming from today?
Definitely, Alan. I mean, they're by far New York City. A lot of them are still in, moving around here in Greenwich, going from smaller houses to larger houses. But it seems to be the big push has really been out of Manhattan.
Russell, one important question that people are going to ask is, can you tell me about the school systems in Greenwich?
Alan, we're lucky in that point. We have phenomenal public schools here. A lot of people move to Greenwich because they won't have to pay the cost of private school. But we also have a number of great private schools here in Greenwich. So it really gives the person the choice whether they'd like to go public or private. So having that type of option to people in a town of this size with the proximity in New York is pretty amazing.
Russell, when I think of Greenwich, I think of some of the most amazing architectural style designs. Can you tell our viewers what they can expect to see regarding architectural designs and options?
It's funny you asked that, because Greenwich has no architectural review committee for residential properties. So you can go, you have almost any style you can think of, contemporary ranches now, which are very big, short colonials, Tudors, split levels. Our town offers almost every design that you can imagine. So anybody that's moving here is going to be able to find a style that I think they like. It's just a question of whether or not the location, fits what they're looking for.
Russell, could you please share with us on what you're seeing and how it relates to the real estate market in regards to multiple offers and the inventory and housing developments?
We're probably looking at, I would say 16% of the market is selling above ask price. Another 14% is probably selling at ask price. Both of those might have multiple buyers with them, but still 2/3 of our market is trading, in a more rational way. There could be more than one buyer, but they're not going above the asking price as much as people think.
Wow, really? See, and
Yep.
here we're completely the opposite. We're seeing multiple offers where they're going anywhere between 10, 20, and 30% above the asking price. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're seeing that too. Alan, but we're seeing it more on specific types because of the diversity of styles that we have and the condition of those styles. People, you guys might have a lot more new properties that have been recently renovated and stuff, but where we've got some styles going back to the 20s to the turn of the century that are not just for everybody, but they're still in demand, but some of them might need some work. But yeah, don't get me wrong. We have an incredibly active market because our inventory is down by 40%. But I think if we had the inventory we had last year in COVID, I think we'd find that it would this market would be a lot more active, at least in the number of sales and all of that.
Well, and that actually leads me into my next question. How are properties being listed? Are they being listed as is, or are they being updated and redone?
A little of both. The ones that are being listed as is that need work are probably sitting on the market, might get tremendous number of showings, might get a good, what's perceived market offer, but the owners believe it's worth more given all the hype they've heard about, all these houses going over ask and all of that. But the smart owners are, before they're putting things on the market, they're fixing them up, trying to bring them as close to 2021 condition as possible. And those are the ones we're really seeing that are getting the most activity and getting the 5 to 7 offers and going over asking price, the ones that people can move right into.
In terms of home pricing, what price points are available for buyers today?
Well, like I said at the beginning, Alan, I mean, we go from a $200,000 studio to a $50 million house on 2 acres, on the water, like behind me. So we have a tremendous array of property prices that we can go at. So, and that's, I think, the misnomer that Greenwich has had. Everybody thinks that if you're from Greenwich, Connecticut, you live in this mansion like I'm at right now, that's absolutely stunning. But we have a lot of properties that sell, under $1 million, between $1 million and $2 million, that are good family homes.
And Russell, what are you seeing as far as appreciation in Greenwich year after year?
We've seen from the '07 market, the downturn of the financial markets, where we were probably hit as hard as anybody because that's sort of in our backyard. We saw prices sort of creep back, and in parts of Greenwich, we saw them at the highs again, maybe even exceeding some of those highs. But there are other areas of Greenwich that have not come back to the levels that we saw back in the '04, '05, '06 range. But, they are gaining, more interest, I would say, and starting to see appreciations really in what we call our backcountry area, which is north of the Merritt Parkway, on the larger tracts of land a little bit further away from the middle of downtown Greenwich.
Russell, I ask everyone who comes onto the show, what is your favorite story of a person or family that has migrated to Greenwich?
Alan, I've been lucky enough during COVID. I've had a number of people that have come and, just some phenomenal stories. But I think the best ones have really been during COVID, where people were locked up in an apartment. I can think of 3 young couples, first-time home buyers. Here they're buying their first house in some cases at $1.5 million to $2 million. And, they come out, they listen. They were incredibly thankful for the work that I did, and really showed them around town at a time where we were having to talk between cars instead of having it in my car. But how much that they came back to me in the last month or two and have said, Russ, you told us how great Greenwich really was, but until we really experienced it, even during this pandemic, it's so much better than we ever thought it would be.
Well, Russell, I want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Location Luxe. It has been a joy to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, Alan, and anybody who wants to come to Greenwich, please come.